Hey, Tage here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin. I'll cover wave analysis with the Elliott Wave theory and provide multiple scenarios your price may take and explain why I prefer one counter over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on a bit higher time frame and looking at the higher time frame picture. The main idea we have had is that we've had this as a far wave structure into an A wave, through a pullback into B, and then looking for that C wave coming down. Now, with the S&P rally yesterday, the price of Bitcoin has also gone up quite significantly. Not that much as with as S&P 500 did, but it invalidated the idea that wave 2 could be at these highs where we had it previously. And we were talking about this scenario at which this whole thing changes basically if we are going to be taking out these highs, and we did. Even though it was just a week, we still did. Now, if we are looking at this a bit more closely, we can see that we had three waves here, then this large ABC into X, and then another WXY. Why am I labeling this as a WXY? Just because the internal wave structures we have here. Now, if we are having the look at this here, we could be saying that we have the W here. And then we would have this as a three-way structure like so. It is possible, however, very unlikely, because again, this would be the wave A or W wave, and then this would be X or B, and then C or wave Y. And that generally takes out these lows. And it looks, I think, a bit better if we are having it like this, and then like this. But again, the other ways is also possible. Now, if we are wanting to play like this, we have a very unlikely scenario in which we could be turning this into a ABC instead of that WXY. In here, we would have to label this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this with an expanding leading diagonal in A is again very unlikely overall. We talked about the possibilities how we're going to be getting to that B wave with a three-way structure like this as a WXY. That is pretty much the only scenario, or only okay looking scenario, although the retracement here is so small that it does not really look too good, but that is pretty much the only way. And also here, if we are looking at smaller time frames, we have to be forgiving some of the rules basically here, with this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into wave 1, then wave 2, and another diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, ending that C wave here. But to me, again, this is very, very unlikely, because again, the wave structure is in here, and the expanding diagonal having to be forced into here, and same with these counts here, or these diagonals that don't really look too good. It is not really good looking. So the point and reason why I pointed that out is because in wave 2s of diagonals, you should only have zigzags, and as with this one, we have a possible zigzag here. We've identified that. But again, X wave can be anything. So we have a running flat here, so it does not matter. But this structure here is the problem. Now, again, as I mentioned, we could have it like this and have very weird looking structure as a fire wave in here. I really can't. I mean, if this was the third, I guess we could have this as the fourth and fifth, and then 1, 2, it does not really subdivide well into a fire-wave structure, this one here. Although we do have that divergence at the very end, that is also possible on others. And it just doesn't have the right look in my opinion. So even, again, the extension here, getting to the 1-to-1, fits well. But it just doesn't have the right look in my opinion. We are in a bit weird areas where this structure over here was very odd looking, and I was not trading this at all. Very similar here. I tried to take a short position here, as we had first a bullish a bearish regular divergence, and then a hidden divergence later on. But yeah, that just wicked me through. I had very close stop here, and obviously, of course, after that high here was made, we are starting to drop down. But overall, I don't think this count is the most likely anymore, just because of the structures inside here. So what do we have actually that is not part of that structure? Well, we have, well, let's go through the options here again. We have the other diagonal, in which we are starting from the diagonal basically from the starts here, or starts of these highs, 25k, and have this as 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, have the same issue here, where we would have to have this as a double zigzag or triple zigzag. Does not really feel like it. But this one I feel like is the best one. Although, again, if we are looking at higher time frame, how does this wave A even form? A WXY into A, ABC into this B wave here. Yep. Actually, this should be smaller degrees. Let me fix that fast. That should be submicro, and this should be minuscule. There we go. So A, B, and C into B wave. So A, B, and then C. Again, getting the 0.618 again, which is the minimum for a three-way structure. This qualifies as a flat, so that's how we are treating it. Although this is very much of a truncated flat, not very common itself either. Now, if we are pivoting again from this A wave and having that as the start of something, having that as a three-way structure does not mean that we need to be looking for a motive wave count. Instead, we can just have a W, and then we don't have any limitations here what kind of structure we are having, and this still fits very well as a three-way structure, although this last wave Y is well beyond the wave W expectations, and the size, basically this would have been way better as comparison to this. But yeah, it is still possible, and now we would be looking for lower to at least create that wave Y here, right? So I'm still biased on short, although the S&P 500 is very bullish with this current count, at least locally. But yeah, that I feel like this is my main at the moment, this running flat, although the higher time frame structures are kind of bad. Then we have the other counts where we would have this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and this faces the same issue here that I've talked about. But yeah, I feel like that is pretty much everything. At the moment, there is really nothing really here. There was this possibility where we had this as a three-way structure, 3 waves and 3 waves, so creating a W in here. So that was W, X, and Y. Of course, these should be lower degrees, and we should have labeled it as a WXY in itself for the W. But you see the point here. 1.382 is one of the targets again for the WXY. We don't really want it to go beyond the 1.618. But yeah, that is definitely one area to look for pivot. Same as the 1.236. Now we had this pump. So what do we expect now? This structure downwards here does not really feel 5 waves, right? This definitely looks like a 3-wave, and this is a possible 3-wave as well, and we could get another 3-wave structure to have a partner leg basically for this. If this is actually allowed, let me check. Yeah, it is. It did not get to the 1.618, so we could have this as a 3-wave structure here as an expanded flat. Is there some other possibilities? Yeah, I think so. But those are, again, not that very good looking. I'm not quite sure. This definitely feels like a good 3-way structure as well, but how does this fit into here? I don't think we have this as a 5-way structure at all. We do have some kind of divergence on 2 minutes comparing these two lows, but then we would have to have something like this, and it does not really look too good. This should be way larger if we wanted this to be an expanding diagonal, and these trend lines, although very channeling at the moment, we could have had them coming down a bit with the extension here on the 5th. But again, these expanding diangles are very rare in itself. So until I can identify another structure, even a smaller time frame, I'm not going to go in here. I'd rather play the S&P 500 rather than this. But I'll create another video for that as well for today. But if you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you next video. Bye bye.